Arizona, take it away.
Over 100 years ago, a group of students were traveling in northern India for their summer project. They spent the night along the Ganges River in the city of Patna. Like many other summer nights, a heavy monsoon was raging. Earlier in the day, they had seen pilgrims bathing in the holy Ganges River, even though it was polluted and caused sickness. The poverty-struck people of Patna suffered from poor sanitary conditions, and the students knew that the citizens were in essence drinking their own sewage. These students later discussed a quote from Gandhi that they had read in the museum earlier that day. A small body of determined spirits, fired by unquenchable faith in their mission, can alter the course of history. They determined that they would fix Patna. And on that day, Project Bahal was born.
Welcome to the 2163 Diwali celebration, a festival of lights. We are gathered here to honor their volunteer engineering group by renaming the city of Patna to Bahal, meaning restored in Hindi. I am the mayor, Jesse Friedman. With me are Project Bahal director, Timothy Gronke, and Rachel Fisher, the dean of Bahal Tech. Bahal has become the first environmental site design city. To accomplish this, the Project Bahal engineers intentionally attempted to mimic nature with as much plant life and pervious surfaces as possible, decreasing runoff and increasing both infiltration and evapotranspiration. The result of the engineers' work is the world's most innovative stormwater runoff manager, the Stormwater Control System.
The Project Bahal engineers identified the city's main stormwater problems: an open sewage system, a high water table combined with alluvial soil, and excess impervious surfaces. The environmental, civil, and IT engineers succeeded in solving all three issues through the Stormwater Control System, or SCS, an on-site rainwater harvesting, cleaning, directing, and percolating system. Integrated into Bahal's square-mile layout, the SCS plays a major role in the preservation of clean water for each building. The rainwater endowment of a typical building's rooftop is harvested through a trough that surrounds the building's retractable glass roof. Monitored by the SCS's volume, quality, and flow sensors, water is then cleaned through nanotech purifier filters and then stored in the building's core in a series of cisterns amounting to 500,000 gallons, with one cistern on each floor.
Rain that falls on various pervious surfaces surrounding the building is quickly percolated, removing large pollutants until eventually encounters impervious material, which directs it to the antimicrobial Smart Sponge Plus Cleaning Center located underneath every building. This further removes remaining oils, sediments, and bacteria. It then has three possible routes determined by the SCS. If the building needs water, it will supply it. If the building is full, it will send the water to a percolation tank underneath the square-mile central park. Or, in the event of a large monsoon, the park will act as a holding basin to allow the water to stand until percolated.
When designing these parks, civil engineers utilized underground silvacells, a flexible modular soil containment system. These provide structural support and keep the soil non-compacted, increasing tree root depth in addition to nutrient and water intake. These trees reduce urban heat island effects and stormwater velocity. They also absorb large quantities of water, preventing flooding and decreasing stormwater runoff. Bahal's parks were designed not only to retain water, but also to encourage recreational activities, such as biking, running, yoga, and playing cricket. Fresh air, sparkling rivers, and botanical gardens are just a glimpse of what the outdoors has to offer.
Also, riverside walks, amphitheaters, and performing arts centers are spread throughout the city. The renowned Museum of Indian Culture presents rare native artifacts, and Bahal's Fountain of Restoration, a monument to the Project Bahal engineers, also serves as a popular tourist attraction. In addition, formerly roaming cows now safely abide in a cow sanctuary, supplying excellent organic fertilizer. Vertical farms, which rotate for optimal sunlight, provide citizens with fresh produce.
Residents live in mixed-use, low-impact design buildings, which has approximately 400 citizens. Each building is equipped with the SCS, educational facility, commercial businesses, its own rooftop garden, and an underground transit station. Waste is managed through our underground vacuum sorting system, which is then either sent to recycling centers or to anaerobic digestion tanks to be converted into biofuels.
Energy in the city is provided by aneutronic fusion reactors designed by nuclear and electrical engineers from Project Bahal. The energy output from these hydrogen-boron reactors is clean, safe, and inexpensive. Each square mile of our city requires only one of these small, decentralized power generators.
Information technology students created a mobile device known as SETCH, Safety, Education, Communication, and Health. Worn by each citizen, this device allows emergency personnel to prioritize rescues efficiently. It also securely stores each citizen's medical information. SETCH uses holographic images for communication as well as to mobilize and enhance education. Bahal Tech University attracts students worldwide seeking engineering degrees. Also, it offers graduate projects for students to design, test, and build real-life solutions.
Biomedical and computer science engineers for Bahal Tech have personalized medicine through the iGene silicon device, which maps human genomes, enabling doctors to determine the most effective treatments for their patients.
To avoid non-point source pollution, civil and mechanical engineers created Bahal's municipal transportation system, which operates underground. Its magnetic pods have no emissions and transport residents to their destinations automatically. Instrumentation and control engineers use the smart grid to ensure residents safe travel, a short commute time, and an accurate arrival time.
This city is now no longer Patna, where poverty struck and disease prevailed. No, it is a restored city of advanced technology and great innovation, of beauty and magnificence, of prosperity and joy. It is Bahal.
One thing that I was really interested in was the level of cultural homework you did. The idea that you had a cow sanctuary that would be a fertilizer source was interesting to me. I didn't know, how did you split up the sort of the homework part of this? Who dug in on the history and that kind of context? Because that was impressive.
Well, each week someone took notes, and then we would divide up the homework. And so we all ended up researching some about it, though, and we just wanted to have the best knowledge possible.
Also, as you mentioned, the cow sanctuary, we actually spoke to a Hindu person and asked them if that would be appropriate for their religion. And they said that they know that cows are a problem in India today. They cause a lot of problems, including with stormwater runoff. And they said that they're looking for a solution currently, and that would be an acceptable thing to do.
Also, for a cultural aspect, we really tried to preserve a lot of the culture in India. And so that's one of the reasons why we have the Fountain of Restoration that symbolizes that Patna is now Bahal. And so we made it light up because Indians really appreciate color. And so when we designed our city, we wanted to insert some red into it so that we could incorporate that Indian infrastructure and what they thought was beautiful.
Also, we tried to preserve many buildings throughout our city, such as our city hall, which is there. We looked up a picture of the actual city hall in Patna online, and we modeled it on our model to that picture, and it actually looks very similar.
So where does the food come from that people are eating in this city? What's the connection to where food is grown?
Because most of our citizens in Bahal are Hindu, they are all vegetarians.
Mm-hmm.
So our main source of food is these vertical farms, which are spread throughout the city, and also the rooftop gardens. And we have a community feeling inside of each of our mixed-use residential buildings, and they all can go up and pick fresh fruits or get vegetables from their nearby vertical farm.
We also just have regular markets in our mixed-use buildings that people can use to buy food for their families.
I think I remember you guys saying the population was about 1 million, which would generate a lot of waste. So how is waste disposal managed in the city?
So our environmental engineers created an underground vacuum sorting system, and the reason why we created this was because my grandma, who lives in Michigan, she doesn't have an efficient recycling method to dispose of her recyclables. So she just throws all of her recycling in the trash. So we decided that it'd be nice to have getting rid of waste convenient for all of our citizens. So as long as they just throw it away into a bin, then it would recycle, or send that to an anaerobic digestion tank, depending on what sort of waste it is.
Besides water conservation, what benefits can be derived from your stormwater runoff system?
One of the things is, as we mentioned, we have the Ganges River along our city, and stormwater runoff was a big contributor to the pollution there. Currently in Patna, they have an open sewage system, so when it would rain, it would either percolate that water into the aquifer, contaminated with pollutants, or send it into the Ganges River, which is holy to the Hindu religion, and they would bathe in it, and that would actually cause sickness to spread throughout the city.
As you know, in current India, there's many areas that are very densely populated and very low wealth, poverty. How does it relate to other parts of India that may be filled with poverty, like wealth distribution? Do you need to be wealthy to live in this city, for instance?
No, we try to make it very affordable. So the majority of our homes are mixed use, but we also have residential single if you either want to live by yourself. Also, our energy source, Anitronic Fusion, is very inexpensive. So because of that, that's something that really lowers the utilities cost to live here.
We also sell many of our technologies to neighboring cities, and this actually helps with the lifestyle in the life of the citizens that are living in those cities, and improves the lifestyle of all of the cities surrounding ours.
One thing that I learned was that usually today, if you're poor, that usually means that you have a lower standard of education than other people would have. But in our city, essentially all of our citizens have the SETCH device, and that uses holographic images for communication and education. So for example, it could recreate historical occurrences so that you can learn more about them. Also for math, for example, you can see how it's really applicable in real life through those holographic images.
What skills have you developed during your involvement in Future Cities?
One of the skills that I've developed is public speaking, which I'm doing right now. It's definitely a very applicable attribute, something that's always going to be very important to have with me for life. So I'm very glad the Future City has given me that opportunity.
Also sending out